In an emergency, it's important to know just who to call and what information you need to make sure that they can help you quickly. So today we are joined by Jerry Phillips to talk about what happens on the other side of the line when you dial 911. All right, so Jerry, of course, overnight we saw everything that happened with that midair collision. I am sure 911 was inundated with all kinds of calls on some kind of emergency situation like that. We've had a couple of those kinds of big emergency situations here as well. How do 911 operators handle all of that information coming in?
Well, luckily in North Carolina, we have a great 911 system, and our 911 systems, if we are inundated with phone calls here in Guilford and Greensboro, our calls are going to roll over to another center. So our 911 calls will not go unanswered. There are CAD system or computer aided dispatch systems, all operate off of most of the same software. So they can take those calls and then just send them through the computer straight to us.
I'm just imagining it on a night like that. It is really difficult as a human to, hear all of those kinds of things. How do you guys train your operators to be able to handle those kinds of things?
We do resilience training. We have peer support systems in place. So when these incidents happen, and we have had some in Guilford County, we've also assisted, like in Western North Carolina, we assisted with a lot of those calls too. So when those calls happen, we bring peer support teams in and allow our dispatchers to kind of talk through the situation and talk through what's going on. But we have a lot of mental wellness training that comes in when you first come to be a dispatcher. You do a lot of mental health training.
I imagine that is kind of standard with the job because you hear all kinds of
Absolutely.
things. So a lot of times people are wondering, should I call 911? And so the answer is, when should they be calling 911?
If it's an emergency situation, if it's something that's happening right now, please call 911. If you pass by a wreck or anything, you see something like this and you think, oh, someone else has already called, just call. If someone else has called, we'll let you know, and you may have new information that first responders need to have. So always call. If it's something that's not happening right now, then you can always call our non-emergency number, 336-373-2222.
Okay, and so when we do call 911, what kinds of information should we be expected to be able to relay to best get help?
The most important thing is your location, or the location of the incident. That's the most important thing. If you have an exact address, that's perfect. But if you don't, cross streets are great. If you see a nearby business, we can look that up. We do have ways of getting a decent location, but if you know the exact location, that's going to get a first responder to you a lot quicker.
Is there any kind of difference taking a phone call from a landline versus a cell phone?
Yeah, so it comes back to that location. The landline, old school, there's still a few of them, believe it or not, but those calls come in and that address displays, your name displays, everything is there. Cell phones, we don't have that capability. It doesn't come into because you're all over the place with your cell phone. We do have some really great technology called Rapid SOS that can give us a very, very good location of where you are, but it's not perfect and it's not exact. So, and then depending on your cell signal is going to depend on how good that location is. So that's the difference in the two.
All right. What
Now,
about?
I will tell
go
you
ahead.
that's okay. One thing that you can do is Rapid SOS is they partner with emergencyprofile.org. And if you go to emergencyprofile.org and fill in your information, you can put in medical information, you can put in your emergency contacts, your home address, things like that. And that will help us locate you. We are also training our non-English speakers that live in Guilford County to sign up for this service and put the language that they speak in there so that we'll know if we can't tell what language you're speaking, we can get an interpreter. But if you have that language in there, we can look on there and see what language you speak and get someone that much quicker.
All right, so again, this is on the computer that you'll go on and you'll put all the information so that when your cell phone comes up for 911, they have all this information. This is a really great thing for someone who maybe has a chronic disease, maybe they have seizures, maybe they're diabetic, maybe they're older, if they fall or something of that nature. All they have to do is just call 911 and all that information is there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So tell me again what the website is.
It's emergencyprofile.org.
Okay.
And you can put all of this stuff into your cell phone. I think a lot of people are not really wanting to do that because they're afraid their cell phone may get taken. But this is a secure website, and you can just put it all right there and it comes right to us.
What about kids who call 911? And I don't mean like as a joke. I know that you guys field calls from kids every single week.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
What about if they don't know what where they are, their location?
We are trained to ask lots of great questions. What color is your house? What's nearby? Are there any toys outside? Are there cars parked outside? What color are they? And then if they still don't know, if they maybe know the street, we can send first responders down the street and have them flip a light switch on and off until the first responder sees it and can locate them. So we have lots of ways of getting that information and finding out where they are.
All right, what happens if someone butt dials 911 by accident and they hang up the phone?
So it happens every day, multiple. You wouldn't believe the number of those we get, and that's fine. What we want you to do is stay on the line and just say, hey, sorry, I butt dialed you. We get that answer all the time. What we don't want you to do is say, oh no, and hang up, because that takes a telecommunicator's time away from another emergency, because whoever got that call is going to have to try to contact you back multiple times before we can move on to take an actual emergency call. So it saves us time and saves responders time if you just stay on the line and let us know it was an accident. You're not in any trouble. It happens all the time.
All right, yeah, because oh no could be something that's really bad that's happening, and you don't know that on the other end of 911. Yeah,
exactly.
Sure. Well, we certainly appreciate all that you and your team do all over, here in Greensboro and all over the nation as well. And thank you for your time today. If you missed any of this, you can find it in the Two Wants to Know section of our website.